mandible you need to be able to identify. For instance, you should be able to identify the mandibular condyle, as well as the coronoid process, the sharp fin-like structure that sticks out of the mandible here. In between the mandibular condyle and the coronoid process is a depression. This depression is called the mandibular notch. On the side of the mandible, this area coming down like this is called the mandibular ramus. So all of this is the mandibular ramus. This corner right here, where the two lines, the bottom portion of the mandible and the side of the mandible here, the back posterior portion of the mandible, come together, form what is called the mandibular angle. Okay, an angle, of course, formed when two lines come together, and you have an arch. So you have your two lines, and there's your arch. So there's the mandibular angle. Okay. As we turn it to the side this way, we'll see that we have kind of this area where the teeth connect to the mandible, and this, of course, is called the alveolar margin, because alveoli means sac. And in fact, it's a margin of sacs or depressions in which the teeth actually fit inside of. So that's the alveolar margin right there. At the front of the chin here, we have this area right here called the mandibular symphysis. This is where tissue would come together and basically attach, forming kind of attachment between the chin and the mandible. An increased amount of mandibular connection would form a depression at the mandibular symphysis, forming basically what's called a mandibular cleft or cleft chin. On the sides of the mental region, so this being the mental region, the chin, on the sides of the mental region are openings. These openings are openings in a bone for nerves or blood vessels, and thus openings in a bone for nerves and blood vessels are known as foramens, and these foramens happen to be associated with the chin, and the chin happens to be known as the mental, so these are called the mental foramen. Okay? On the inner part and back of the mandible are holes here and here.
Can you turn this a little bit?
Right there. This is an opening within the mandible. Again, an opening for blood vessels and nerves is called a foramen.